Welcome back. We are diving into a pivotal moment in history as portrayed in the powerful new film September 5. Joining us are John, who stars as the young producer navigating the chaos of live news coverage, and we've got the director Tim joining us as well to take us behind the scenes of this gripping story set in the 1972 Munich Olympics. Thanks for joining us.
Hi,
Appreciate
guys.
you.
Hey.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Of course.
So John,
Hi, thanks for having us.
yeah. John, my first question is for you. What was it like for you to portray your character during such this high-stakes live coverage news event?
I was very fortunate that the real Jeff Mason, who's the character that I play, is still with us. And he was an enormous resource for the entire production, and especially for me. He just has a very clear vision of what went on that day in Munich in 1972. He was able to get me into control rooms, which you guys, I'm sure, are very used to. And anyone who's been in a control room and been part of a live broadcast understands that there's a very specific language and cadence and rhythm that goes on in those rooms, which was very important for me to learn. So stepping into that role was really vital for me, and I couldn't have done that without the real Jeff Mason's assistance.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear
Yeah.
that you had the actual person who was in the room kind of
That's so great.
influencing your portrayal.
Yeah.
Tim,
Yeah.
what inspired you to tell this story, and how did you recreate kind of that moment from the 70s?
Yeah. What inspired me was actually that a conversation that we had in research with the character played by John McGarrell, who John just referred to, the real Jeffrey Mason, and he, as a young rookie, experienced life in that control room on that day in Munich, not far away from where the tragedy happened, on how they, as a group of sports broadcasters, had to make the switch from reporting on the Olympics, on the Serene Games, as the German called these Olympics, to this crisis. And listening to his stories, that's what inspired us to write the script. And it was really important for me to get the whole, because you were asking about the control room and how we recreate that set. I wanted that world to be portrayed very accurately. So it's based on the original construction plans, it's all the original devices on top of them being authentic. They also did work because we wanted the cast to be interact with it. So if you got to a set, you really got transported back in time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
I love it.
So, John, how did you kind of approach the tense moments in the scene that audiences will see?
I think when you approach those, I think you're lucky if you have a good script, and we had a really good script. It really let us rely on that. But Tim was going for something that I think a lot of directors might be afraid of. He was going for utter honesty. And so, because we had such a tremendous ensemble, Peter Sarsgaard, Ben Chaplin, Leonie Benech, uh, and also, in a way, the real Jim McKay, because we have a live footage of Jim McKay, and I'm playing scenes off of him. And some of the most tense moments and most dramatic, pivotal moments are playing off of this archival footage. So it was really just leaning into the language and just being as honest and as possible. And I think that honesty allows an audience to really live the moment in real time with us.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
love that.
Tim, what do you hope audiences take away from this film?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I think we're living we're surrounded by such a fastly growing media landscape that we don't even yet know what that means and what an influence that the media has on how we perceive uh, world political events, also through the technology. And with our movie, we want to provide a way for the audience to take a step back and to reflect on these questions through the historical lens by showing on how a little bit more than 50 years ago, an event of this nature was covered in live television for the first time in media history.
Yeah, well, I've heard nothing but amazing things about this movie. Critics' reviews have been skyrocketing, so congratulations on
Yes.
this one, and thank you both for joining us
Thank you
today.
guys so much.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely,
Of
yeah.
course.